Hey guys, it's nice to have you in this series of tutorials where we are building a food delivery app with React Native and Firebase. We're going to continue from where we left in the previous video. As you can see on my emulator, this is where we stopped, and we're going to continue from there. So what we want to achieve, this. This is what we have to do, and also in this video we're going to complete this screen as well. This is the menu screen. From here the user will be able to pick a food. If you press there, then it will take you to the preferences where you can add some preferences, and then finally add the items to the cart. For example, you can increase the number of items and then you can add it to the cart, and you can see that once I've added those items to the cart, now I have one element inside my cart, and we're going to implement those features in this video. And if it's your first time to watch this series of tutorials, I will recommend you to also watch the previous videos. There are about 20 videos already in the playlist on this channel, and you can start from the beginning so you have an understanding of what we're doing. But otherwise, you are also welcome to start from this one if you think that you don't have to understand what we've been doing previously. And just for a recap, this is what we have built so far. All these screens, we have built them already, all that you're seeing, and right now we are here. We have also started building the authentication, and apart from the authentication, we also did build all these filtering features and things like that. Alright, without wasting any time, let's begin. You can open your Visual Studio Code. I have mine opened already, and you can go to your source folder, and inside your source folder go to the screen folder and then open the restaurant home screen. You should have a restaurant home screen created, and this is mine. You should have all this code already, and your project should be looking like this. You should start your emulator and go to this home screen, restaurant home screen, and you should have something like this. And you should have your tab scrolling when you click. You should also be able to animate the like, that when the user likes your restaurant, it should be able to animate to inform him that indeed it has been liked, and the heart should turn from white to red, as you can see there. If all that is working, then you are ready to proceed with me on this tutorial. Since this emulator is not active, let me kill this. I'm going to relaunch it so that we can be seeing live what we're doing. I'm going to type npx react native. I'm going to run Android. While my emulator is running, you can scroll to the bottom of your restaurant home screen file, and we're gonna begin coding. So there's something that I want to mention. For example, if you see, let me remove this. If you see on this screen, here, and you go to the menu screen, there's something I want to show you. For example, if I just swipe around, you can see that I can move this screen around. Okay, I can move to the second screen by simply swiping around, or by clicking on the tab itself. Okay, my emulator is running. Just 1 minute. Let this emulator build. so that you have the live coding. And yeah, while it's still building, let me go back to what I was showing you. This is what I wanted to show you, that it is possible to move from one tab to the other simply by swapping the item. I've not put any item in the chicken or veggie tab. You can put some items. We don't have to do that. It's gonna be the same code. You can repeat the same thing that is in this screen, which is beef tab. You can just copy the same and paste there, or put whatever you want to put. But I just wanted to show you that functionality. And in this one, we're not gonna implement that functionality. I don't want to implement that, but you're welcome to implement it. I simply want this tab to be activated by clicking on the tab itself. For example, if I want to go to the gallery, I have to click on the gallery. So if I try to swipe, it won't be able to swipe like with the previous menu. And as I said, you're gonna see how to implement both of them, but it's my preference. You can decide otherwise, and I will show you exactly how to implement this as well, whereby you are able to swipe all these tabs and so forth. And you can go to the previous tab simply by swiping again. Okay, awesome. Now my emulator is running, and let me go to the all this. You have built it already, and I assume your project is also gone so far. And if you have done that, congratulations, for because you have done already a big part. We're almost getting to the end of the project. So now go to your restaurant home screen.js file, and we're going to do something. I want you to, we're going to pass. Now so far we can see that when you click on these screens, there's nothing happening. Okay, there's nothing happening. And also, before we continue, I don't like what is happening on top here. You can see that there's a space, there's a white space on top of the header, and there seem to be also some border radius on this picture. So scroll down to your styles. For some reason there's a margin top of 18 on my styles. I'm going to delete that. That is what is causing this white space, and let's see if that changes. Okay, that is changing. Also, we still have some radius, and I don't want to have those radius, so we need to go to the restaurant header component, and scroll down to the styles and just delete this. We don't need these borders, and by the way, we don't need this star, so we can delete that. And then go also to the image styles, then delete this. We don't need this. We can delete that and save. Now you can see those radius are gone, and we have a problem with the status bar as well. It's supposed to be orange, so we need to render the status bar, and it's very simple. I don't know why it's not rendering here, but it's okay. Let's see if we have a status bar in our home screen component. You can simply search for that status. Okay, we don't have any status bar. That's the reason why we're having that problem. I'm going we're going to render a status bar. I'm just gonna do something. Instead of typing all that, I'm going to copy some code and simply paste those codes. Okay, inside our home screen, let me import a status bar here from React Native. You can import that from React Native. I've imported this, and now inside here I'm going just to put it, you can put it anywhere, but I'm going to put it on top here, and let's see what it gives us. Let me save and see what happens. Okay, we have the status bar, but we're still having a problem. Let's go to the home screen. We're still having a problem there as well. So what we need to do is we need to find what is the height of our status bar so that we can accommodate that. But for now, since it's not the purpose of this project, I'm going to create a I will create a video whereby I will show you exactly how to implement that. There are APIs which will be able to grab the status bar height, but for now, since you have to proceed quickly, I'm just going to say let me put some padding top. If I put padding top, let's say of 20, let's see what happens. Okay, that's looking good, but we're going to implement this with APIs so that we don't use this, so that we know the exact height of our status bar. And let's see that let's implement the same in the restaurant header file. I mean in the restaurant home screen file. You can go to your restaurant home screen file and okay, first of all, let's see what happens. Okay, let's try to put margin top as well in the container. Let's say 20. Instead of margin, put padding top. Let's see what happens. Okay, seems like a padding top of 20 is solving the problem, but as I said, this is not the right way to do it. I'm going to show you the right way to do it in the next videos, because I want to push quickly on what we're supposed to cover in this video. That being said, we're gonna have to do the same for all the rest of the screen, but that's not the main thing right now. Let's first finish this screen. So we're going to pass the screens that are supposed to be rendered in this menu tab, and we have to create that screen. So I want you to go to the screen folder, create a new folder and call it restaurant tabs. Sorry, restaurant tabs, like that. And then in this folder, we're going to create the first screen which will be rendered in this menu tab. Okay, so when you click on this tab, you should have a screen that is rendered. When you click on that, the same thing. When you click on the reviews tab, you should have also a review screen that is rendered. So inside this restaurant tab, you create a new file, you call it menu. You can call it, let's say, menu screen. I think it's the menu screen that we're going to render in the menu tab, menu screen.js file. Okay, now I'm going to create a functional component called menu screen, and let also me add a style sheet to this. Style sheet should have imported it directly, but it's okay. And inside here, let me just say menu screen. we have that. We can save it. This is very simple. I'm just importing React and some few components from React Native, and then I have a functional component called menu screen, and I'm exporting it as default. Now inside this, we're going to render this menu screen. You can just render it here. You can open a bracket like this, and inside this bracket I'm going to say if index is equal to 0, then you can render the menu screen. If that is the case, you can render menu screen, and this should be imported. Make sure you import this. As you can see on top here, it's imported automatically. Make sure it is also in your project. And now let's save. Let me first go to the menu screen. Let me save. Awesome. You can see we have menu screen there. That means now you are able to develop or to write the code for this menu screen. This is very simple. Now you go to the menu screen that you've just created. We can delete this. We don't need this anymore. And also we're going to create some styles. Const styles should be equal to, okay, I can put it after the export. Const, can say styles equal to style sheet dot create, and that's it. Now we need to create let me open this project. The emulator is not performing. Okay, I'll have to close this and rebuild this. Sorry guys for that. Alright, this is what I wanted to show. So this is what we have to render on this menu screen. So these are the items. It's very simple, and we need to have all these things in our database. So I might have to copy some data. Let me see what we have in our database. We have go to global data.js file. We should have the menus. I think we don't have those files. Okay, I'm going to quickly copy some files, some data, and paste them, and you're gonna find those data as well, either from GitHub, or you can pause the video and quickly tap them. It's not a lot of data, it's simply some few data. I'm going to copy this. Let me just make this screen full for now. Okay, scroll down. I'm going to paste this here. So these are the two data that I'm pasting. You can pause your video and tap this. Also, I'm going to update the GitHub repo for this project, so you can find this data there that you can simply copy if you don't feel like tapping all this, and you can save. And now we should be able to begin coding. I'm also going to paste some styles. I have to copy and paste some styles so that we don't waste again time. It's not a lot of styles, it's simply a few styles, but let me just copy them and paste as well. Inside our style sheet, I'm going to paste. I've pasted these styles. You can see it's just 2 styles, and you can type those styles as well. And that being said, I'm also going to import an icon component from React Native element. I'm going to paste that here. You can type that, import that item. Okay, now we should be ready to move. I'm going to add one more style to this. I'm going to call it container. And this style I'm going simply to give a flex of 1 to it. Say flex plus 1, and then I'm going to give some margin top as well. Margin top plus 20. Now that being said, let's go back to our component or the screen, menu screen. We're going to open a view inside here. First of all, let's pass this style. Going to pass this style to it. Going to say styles dot container, and once we have that, open another view, and inside this view we're gonna render some data dynamically, and the data that we're gonna render are the data that we've just created inside our database. So it's the menu data as well as the spatial data. We can give them any name. Sometimes I run out of names, but yeah. So we're going to import those data first. I'm going to say, okay, in my case they were imported already automatically. I did import them, but make sure you tap this line of code to import your data as well. And once this is imported, you can use it here. I'm gonna say spatial data. I'm going to map the data here, and I'm going to grab the items. I'm going to grab the items here, and then we're gonna render some views. Then inside this, open a view, and this view we're going to pass some props to it. The first prop will be the key, and this will be items dot key, and we're going also to pass some styles. So this will be styles dot view 1, and since we're gonna need to be able to press each item, I want you to import a component from React Native called touchable opacity. Import that, and then let's use that touchable opacity here. I'm going to say touchable opacity, and we must listen to the touch event or on press event. Say on press we must do something. So what I'm going to say handle press, and here we need to create this function. I'm going to say const handle press And what we want to do when we press, we simply want to navigate. And before we do that, I'm going to grab some props. The first one is going to be navigation, and we're going to also grab the restaurant prop, which will be passed to this component like that. Okay, and then here we're simply going to say navigation dot navigate. Then we're going to go to the product section screen. But since we don't have this screen yet registered, let's just comment this out for now. We won't do anything. Let's leave it like that. We leave it empty for now. We're gonna work on it later. So inside here, we're gonna open another view. Open another view, and to this view we're gonna pass a style, and this style is gonna be called, it's gonna be the styles view 2. And after this, we're going to use the icon. Make sure before using the icon we import it on top here. I've imported it from React Native element. Once it is imported, you can use it. Going to use the icon component, and we know that the icon usage is very simple. We have used icons so many times. So we're going to pass the name, and the name will be star, and the other prop that we're going to pass is the type. You know already we're using material community. And finally we're gonna pass the color. The color, I'm just gonna say gold. And also we're going to pass some text component. Pass some text component, we pass some stars to it as well. Stars, this will be stars dot text one. Stars dot text one. Let me just make sure we have that in our star sheet. Okay, we don't have these stars yet. I'm simply going to copy and paste that star, because I don't want to repeat myself on tapping stars. I see that I don't have that stars anyway. It's okay. Let's just quickly tap it. Text one, and gonna pass the color. Just gonna say colors dot gray. This should be gray 3, and I'm gonna pass the font size. I'm gonna say 18, and font weight, do we want it to be bold? Let's see how it will be when it's bold. We pass bold, then we can go back to our component. So inside the text we're going to pass some data dynamically. So I'm going to say items dot title. So that's kind of it for this first part. I'm going to save this. I'm going to run my emulator, and let's see what happens. To run npx react native run Android. So while this is building, we're going to do something. We're gonna continue. I want you to copy all this. Sorry. I want you to copy all this data, or actually copy the whole view, because the second view is almost the same. Copy this, and once you have copied that, simply paste it below that view. Alright, we should have this. Now delete this icon from the paste that you have just done. Delete that. I'll show you what happens. And instead of now having the spatial data as we have on top here, we're going to remove this and put menu data. Okay, so now hopefully my emulator is moving. Let's see what happens. Okay, I see my emulator is successfully built, and let's go to where we the emulator is kind of freezing, but it's gonna be fine just now. Awesome. So you should have this before saving the new paste, copy and paste that you have just done. You can see that my file is not yet saved, and this is what we've just copied and pasted here. So let me make the screen small so we can have a look at the emulator. Now if you have copied and pasted this and save, you're gonna see that we're gonna have more item at the bottom here. Let me save. Awesome. But we're supposed to have a star on here, and I can see that something is not right. Let me see why are we having that. Okay, instead of star I did write start. I did make a mistake there. Now if I save, we should have a star. Awesome. So for spatial menus, or menus that have got spatials, we're gonna have a star attached to it at the top, and the rest of the menus we're gonna have them listed like that. And so far if you click, nothing will happen. Okay, now your screen should look like this. I assume you have your screen looking like this, but there's still something that need to be done. If you see on the final project, you have the cart at the bottom. You should be able to view the number of items in your cart. So we need to add this as well, this button at the bottom, and this is very simple to do. You're gonna do it just now. You can scroll. You can go to your restaurant home screen. Go to the restaurant home screen and scroll down. At the bottom here, we're going to open a view after the scroll view. Okay, first of all, we're going to import some component. The first one, or we're gonna add touchable without feed, touchable opacity. Sorry, let's import touchable opacity at the top here from React Native, and then scroll down just below the scroll view closing tag, use that touchable opacity that we've just imported. Right now I am inside the restaurant home screen.js file. Make sure that where you are as well. And I've opened the touchable opacity component, and inside this I'm going to open a view component as well. And inside this view you can pass a style to it, and the style will be the styles.view11. And inside this view we're going to create another view, and we need to pass some styles as well to this view. Gonna pass star equal to styles.view12, and inside this view 12 going to open a text component, and this text component is going to pass some styles as well, and this will be stars.text13, like that. Okay, let me just make this a bit smaller so we can see the emulator. So if you see on the final project, you have a text there saying view cut. This is the text that we are creating right now. So I'm going simply to write here. What am I doing? Something is not right. I did something stupid. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to write here view cut. So this is this text here at the bottom, and once you have created this, I want you to open another view component, and to this view we're going to pass some stars as well, and that will be stars.view13. And inside this inside this view we're going to pass this data. So you can see this data is dynamic because it displays the amount of items inside our cart, or the number of items inside of our cart. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to open a text component, and this text component need first to pass some styles to it, and that will be stars dot text 13, and inside here I'm going to pass some data that must be rendered. And for now I'm simply gonna put some static data. I'm just gonna say 0 for now. Let's leave it like that for now. We're gonna change this later. And check your emulator and save. Let's see what happens. Okay, I have to run my emulator because I think I did kill it. That's why we see nothing happening there. But by now, if you have saved and your emulator was running, you should have your emulator, your screen looking exactly like this. But let me run my emulator as well so we see if there's any error or not. say npx react native run Android. Okay, my emulator is now running. Let's check what will be happening now. Quickly go to the awesome. So you have this, but right now it's not exactly what we want, because I don't want us to have this what the bottom tab showing like this. I don't want that, and I also don't want this to be at the top. This must be aligning with the text here, and it's supposed to be in the middle. So we need first of all to make sure that these bottom tabs are not visible, and we have to make sure that this is in the middle. So let's do that right now. Okay, inside your source folder, go to the navigation folder, open the navigation folder, and inside the navigation folder go to the client stack file. You have a client stack.js file, open it. I've opened mine, and this is where we're going to quickly remove the rendering of bottom tab in this screen here. There are many ways to do it. There's the right way that is listed on React navigation website. We're gonna implement that later on when we start coding the back end, but for now let's do this just to quickly proceed with the project. It's not wrong to do it this way, but there's a preferred way, or the recommended way by React navigation that we'll implement a bit later in this project. For now, what we're going to do, just import navigation in this client stack component. Navigation, sorry, also import route, and there's also a library, a component or API that we need to import from React navigation. I'm going to paste it here. I must also mention that there is React navigation 6 version that is out already, and some of you guys are those who have initialized their project recently or in the past month or so. You would see that if you go to your package.json file, let me quickly open it. If you go to the package.json file, you will see that your library it's 6, mine is 5.9, and so if you're using the 6, it's okay, but there will be some modifications that you might need to do. I will show you right in this project wherever there are need for modifications, or for yeah. Make sure you have imported this. You can tap this. In my case, I've just copied and paste. It's called get forecast route name from route, and this is from React navigation / native. Okay, this is still working for version 6 if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure this is still working for version 6 of React navigation, but if it doesn't work, maybe the difference could be just instead of slash like that, you put that. But I think no, for this I think it's still okay, it's still like that. And we're going to import also API from React, and we're going to use layout effect. I'm going to use that, and inside here we're going to use that API, use layout effect. and we need to check this again when the navigation route changes or when the route itself changes. And you can create a component, a constant, a variable. You can call it anything. In my case, I'm going to call it route name because this is what I want to get. I want to get the route name whenever these screens are rendered, or whenever navigations take place to this screen. And this, we're gonna get it from this API that you've just imported from React Navigation. Import it from there, and we're gonna pass parameter to it, which is route. Now I'm getting the route name. With this I can do a lot of things. What I will say is, if route name is equal to restaurant home screen, restaurant home screen, I hope the spelling is okay. If the route is equal to that, then we should do some things. What we're gonna do is we're going to hide the tab bar if this is true. So we're gonna say navigation dot set options, and inside here we're gonna pass some prop. What we're gonna pass is tab bar visible. You can grab that here. We set it to false. So what happened is, we're saying if the navigation is if the route name of our navigation, sorry, I'm making a mistake here. This is supposed to be there. That's supposed to be like that. Just made a mistake there. So what we're saying here is that if the route name is equal to restaurant home screen, we need to hide this bottom tab bar. We're grabbing it in this with these options, and otherwise you can say else. We can copy the same. If it's a different name of the route, we still want to render this. Okay, you can do the same for different route that you don't want to have the bottom tab bar visible, but yeah, there's other ways that we're gonna implement it when we implement the authentication route and things like that. We're gonna implement a better way or simple way to do it. This is still simple anyway, so let me see if this works anyway. Awesome. You can see now my bottom tab navigator is hidden, so this is great. And now you can go to our restaurant home screen, and we want to make sure these items are aligned in the middle. I don't want them to be at the edge like that. I want them to be exactly in the middle. So you can scroll down, go to, let me see which will be the appropriate style to change or to modify. It should be, I think it should be view 11. Go down to styles, view 11. Here I'm at view 11. Let me say justify content and put center. Awesome, this is working. This is exactly what I want. This is 100%. If you see our final project, things are exactly the same. You won't tell the difference really, and everything is working perfect. And if we check our project as well, everything is working 100%. Well done for completing this screen. Even though this is not yet active, we're gonna begin implementing the cut soon, hopefully in this video. For now, we must implement this. We must implement this, and actually I did put this inside a screen, but I thought it's not really necessary to create a screen for this. I would think we could put this in a model. If you can put this in a model, it makes life very easy. You select the actual menu, and then finally once you have the menu you want, and then you can move to the preference screen where you can add the preferences and then add your menu to the cart or the product to the cart. So this is very important because right now the user is seeing the menus, but he can't tell exactly what is inside the menu. For example, when you say beef, there are a lot of dishes that can be made out of beef. You can have beef burger, you can have beacons, you can have, I don't know, whatever. Or under chicken you can have chicken fold, you can have chicken fold, you can have chicken burgers, you can have different meal, chicken salad. So when the person clicks on one menu, should be able to get the details as it is, that you can get chips and chicken, burger chicken and so forth with pictures. So the pictures that I've put is simply for demonstration purpose. You can get the right pictures and put there, as well as the right menu names you put there. But the main thing is to demonstrate the to present a UI that can be like a boilerplate for your food or restaurant project. Okay, that being said, let's create that model where we're gonna render this item. Okay, the first thing that you're going to do, the first thing is first importing the model component from React Native. Let me just make this bigger. Import it from React Native model, and then you go wherever you want to render the model. In our case, I'm simply gonna put it at the bottom of this. So open model like that. Okay, now we have the model, but there's not much we can do with it. We need to create some props in order to control it, and the first one that we're going to create is the visibility prop. So we are able to control the visibility of this model. You can simply go at the top here, create some state, gonna call it, let's say, model visible, and say set model visible, and you have to pass an initial state to it. The initial state will be false, so I don't want the model to be visible. Sorry, it's supposed to be equal in between. I want the model to be closed when we navigate to this screen. So now we can go to our model to pass all these props. Inside here, we're gonna use the visible prop. Visible prop, we're gonna say model visible, and animation type, we can say animation type, which will be, can put it slide, want it to slide, and For now, let's leave that, and we're going to pass a component to this model so we know when to close it and so forth. So what we can do is we can create an icon and we're going to pass the name of this. We're going to pass the name. There are different. I think we should have an icon somewhere. I don't have to type all this, so we don't have to waste time. Let me see. Let me copy this. It makes life very simple. You don't have to waste time typing things that already exist in our project. You can just take that and paste it here. Okay, and then on this press event listener, I'm going to say when we press it, I simply want to set the model visible to false, assuming at this time it is already visible, it is true. So I'm going to put it false, and also we now have to see a way to do what to listen to the on press event. For example, say on press, we're passing an on press, going to say on press, and we can pass menu pressed. Okay, we have created this prop here. You can save it, and let's go now to the menu screen. We need to handle that prop. So what we're going to say inside here, we're going to say on press. We pass the on press, and then instead of handle press as we did put it here, we can gonna remove that, and we can delete this. We don't have to handle press at this level. We can say on press, we pass on press like that. Awesome. So now we'll be able to listen from the pressing of any of these elements, of any of these items here. Let me open our project. Okay, let me save it. It's giving errors. It's normal. Let me save, and let's go back. See, menu pressed. Okay, yes, we're supposed to have that error because you have not handled that function yet. We have created it here, so now we have to create that menu press function inside here. So you can scroll up, you can create that here. You can say const menu pressed, and in this we're going to toggle our model. So we say when the menu is pressed, we can set modal visible to true. That's all for now. Okay, let's see. Sorry. Saying can't find variable handle press, and this is in restaurant home screen. Okay, let me see where is this variable handle press. Okay, I see the problem. Go to the menu screen. You also have to change the handle press. Remove this in the second rendering of items, the menu data. Remove that as well. Put on press. And let's save and see. Okay, now let's see if we'll be able to open our model as we've created it. Click on one of the item. Let's see. Okay, there we have the model opening, and if I click on the icon it should close and so forth. So this looks good, not exactly what we want yet, but it's okay. So now we can create we can begin creating our menu details. We can create the menu details. We can create this. First of all, I'm going to add some stars to our star sheet inside this restaurant home screen file. So let me copy some stars, add more stars to what we have already, and you can scroll to the bottom. So these are the stars I've just added. These are the stars, and the previous ones are there. You can pause the video to type this, but as I said, I'm gonna leave the GitHub link to this project so that you don't have to type all these stars. You can simply copy and paste. You don't have to waste a lot of times on tapping stars and all this. That's about it. Yeah, so the best way will be to open the GitHub link, which I will leave in the description, and you will find the updated project on GitHub where you can copy all the stars. But otherwise, if you're having any problem, type in the comment. I'll try to answer all comments within 24 hours, unless if they are unforeseen. But generally, I'll try my best to answer any comment you have. If there's something that is not working or you're having a problem, just type in the comment and everything will be handled. And even if you're working and your project is responding properly, also leave a comment just to say that everything is fine, you're managing well. So I need that feedback. It's really helping me to improve on what I'm doing. And by the way, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to this channel. This will help in uh, growing this channel. So I've pasted those styles. Now we can use them. So the first thing that we're gonna do, we need first to create this icon at the left and the menu, because right now, if you see, right now you will see that, sorry, something is not going right. Right now you will see that when you open your modal by clicking there, you have the icon in the middle. That's not what we want. You want the icon to be at the left. So in order to do that, first of all, open a view. Open a view like that, and inside this view, can cut this icon and paste it inside. And we're also going to pass some styles to this view. Styles equal to styles dot, we can pass to it view 14, like that. And we will also create a text component. And inside this text component, we're gonna just say menu, and gonna pass some styles to it. This will be styles dot, this should be, I think, text 14. Take that one, and let's save it and see. Sorry, the menu is mistaken. Okay, this is looking great. We now have our modal looking like that. So if I click there, you can see it's taken us back. If I click on any menu, it opens that modal like that, which is good, which is awesome. All right, now we need to create the product that we need to render on this model. And we first have this tab. You can see that this is almost the same as what we have. So what we have here, it's almost the same. So we're gonna do some copying and pasting of what we've created already, so that will make life very easy. So let's scroll to the top. So we're gonna need to create some route, and let's start with that. The first thing, we need first to create this data, the data that will be rendered in the tab or displayed on the tabs. So first of all, I think I'm gonna have to paste some data in our database, in our local database here. And let me copy something. I'll show you right now what I will be pasting. Okay, I'm going to paste the data here. This is what I'm pasting. It's called menu. So you can save that. You can save and then go back to your restaurant home screen file, and inside this I'm going to create a state. You can create it just on top of this one, const, and we're going to say, you can just call it route 2, because I have route already here, so I don't want to have the same. So call it route 2. You can call it whatever name you want, and I think that should be it. And we pass the data to it, use state. Then we say you must first import the data we've just created from the database. We're gonna say menu, and then we pass that menu to this state. We say menu. All right, and then let's scroll again. We need to create index as well, so you can just copy this. Just want to make life very simple, duplicating some of the stuff. So instead of just index, we say index 2. There also we say set index 2, and the state we keep to 0. And let's scroll again. Now we need to create also this render tab method. We just gonna copy this, gonna duplicate that as well, copy and paste just below that, and instead of just render tab bar, I say render tab bar 2, like that. And the props and everything else we're gonna leave the same, because they're gonna look the same way anyway. That's okay. And let's scroll down, and for the route, okay, there we're gonna do something differently. There's something that we're going to do here. We're going to below all this method, we're going to create a render scene component. Render scene equal, we pass route to it, and then we will return something on some conditions. So what we're gonna say, we're gonna use the switch case statement. We say grab the route and check the key, and then we're gonna pass the cases. First one we're gonna say case 1, then it should return a component. So I just want to show you what we are doing so you understand exactly. Oh, sorry, the computer is just kind of freezing. Let me see where we are. We are here. We are here. Okay, this will give an error because it's not registered. Let me close it. Okay, I have my emulator working again. So I wanted to show you what we are doing. So what we're gonna be returning here is this view here, the screen that you can see with the detailed menu or product or dishes, whatever you can call it. So what we're saying is, if the route, the initial or the first route is 1, then render this. We're gonna call it, let's just call it route 1. Call it route 1, and we close the tag. So we need to create this component or screen that will have all this card. Okay, and there are some props that we're gonna pass to this. The first one will be just navigation, because from here we should be able to navigate to the preference screen. So we should have that prop, and so that should be good for the first route. So one more thing that we have to do, you can see that in this case we have about it's about how many, it's about 8 of this route. The others are not yet populated. I didn't populate them, and you could do the same thing to populate them as well, but so far we're only gonna create this one or route. And so once this is created, we now have to also pass default. In default we're just gonna return nothing, so you say return no. Okay, and before we proceed, let's first create this route 1 component. You can scroll and go to the screen folder, create a file. You're gonna call it menu tabs. Sorry, I think I didn't create that. New file, we just call it menu tabs.js file, like that. And inside this menu tab, I'm going to paste some import quickly so that we don't have to waste time typing all this import. You can pause your video and import all this component that I've put there. And I'm also going to paste some styles. Going to paste just few styles really. I've pasted some styles here, and now let's create this route 1 component. What I'm going to say is export default function, and the name will be route 1. This should return something. In the first view, just gonna pass a flex of 1, pass styles to it, just say flex 1, and after this I'm just gonna open another view, and let's call it, and first of all let's pass some styles to this view as well. Style equal to styles dot view 2, and inside this let me first just render some text. Let's say menu tab, something like that. Let's save, and once you have created this, you also need to create the rest. The other menus, just gonna say export. Okay, I don't want to export this as default, everything I just want to export them normal. Export const route 2. As I said, you must be able to render something in each page, or in each route I mean. So we need to specify that. So we've done for the first route, now we're going to for the second route, which is chicken, the third route, which is veggies, and the fourth is share, and so forth. So it's about 8 route. So I'm going to say route 2, and I'm just gonna retain a view. Actually I could simply self-close it for now, because I won't pass any children to it. Just self-close it, and we're gonna pass some styles, and okay, I'm going to pass an array of styles. Let's say styles dot scene, and let me see if I have seen. Okay, I have all those. Stars dot scene 2. Normally I don't even have to do this, I could just simply put all this together. Let me just copy this, paste it as well there, so I don't have to duplicate things. You can simply remove all this, then just say stars dot scene. Okay, and I'm going to duplicate this, paste there, and put a route, change to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, you can save this. Now go to your Let's go back to our restaurant home screen. We were here, we created this, we've used this route one here, but we didn't import it. Now we can import it because you've created it. You can come here, import route one from that. Awesome. So we have imported that. You can also import the rest of the route. You can import route 2, route 3, route 4, route 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. Now that you have imported this, we can come here, also duplicate this. I'm gonna copy this, gonna say if case is 2, then render route 2, and so forth. If it's 3, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, like that. Now let's scroll again down. We have this, tab view, so we can simply copy this tab view as well, and instead of putting it in here, now we're going to render it inside our model, just on top, just below this menu view, below this view 14. You put it there like that, and instead of route 1, going to put the render scene, and instead of just route, going to put 2, as well as here put 2, and there we put 2 as well, and the initial layout we leave it like that, and top we leave it like that. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to run my emulator because I did kill it. Going to run the emulator to see what happens. npx, let me just make sure it's indeed killed completely. Yeah, npx react native and Android. So while the project is building, While the project is building, we're going to continue creating these cards. They're very simple, and you can go to your component. Let me remove this. Go to the component folder in your source folder. Go to the component. Inside this component, create a file. You can call it how can I call it? Okay, let me call it menu card. Menu card.js. Awesome. Okay, my emulator is building. It's almost there. Now you have created that menu card. We now need to create the I'm going to paste some import so we don't have to waste time inside this menu card.js. Paste it. You can type those. I'm also going to paste some styles to this menu card.js file so that we don't have to waste time. I'm gonna copy some styles and paste them. So these are the styles that I've pasted. You can pause the video and type them, or else you can check also the GitHub link to simply copy them from the GitHub. So these are the styles. And let's check what we wanted. Well, the emulator is now settled. Sorry, it's not on this. It's supposed to be this one. Okay, it's still loading. Okay, it's giving me a problem. Apparently I did run wrong. Let me just kill it and run it again. Don't know why it's giving that problem. Going to run again. npx react native run Android. Okay, while it's building, we will be also coding our menu card. Okay, so I'm going to say export default function. Sorry for this. Export default function menu card. And this will return something. The face to view. We pass some styles to it. And the styles will be stars.view 1. And also there are gonna be some props that we're gonna pass to this component. Okay, my project is giving errors. Let me look at what it's saying. Okay, I think there's some import which are wrong in our menu tab. Yes, this is wrong. We can delete this. Delete that because we have not created that component. Sorry, I just copy things from wrong places. And let's save and see. reload it. Okay, it seems to be enough, and let's see. Okay, uh, we're supposed to render this menu text, menu tabs from menu tab from route 1, the route 1 component. So let's see what we have on the model. Okay, saying navigation dot route. Okay, why is it saying that? Okay, I see what the problem is. Let's first put here index 2. It's supposed to be index 2, and we can change that as well, because no, not this one, sorry, I'm on a wrong. I was on a wrong one. This is supposed to be index 2, and because the set index is set index 2, and that also supposed to be 2. And yeah, let's try our luck. I'm going to save and see. Still giving errors. Okay, let's try to add some more props to this tab view. You can say let's add navigation. Let's say navigation and route. Say go to route. And let's try again. Okay, the error is still there. Let me see. Okay, I think the problem is that according to this tab view API, we cannot render to top tabs in the same screen, because the model is still in the same screen. So instead of wasting time trying to fix this, we're going to instead create a different screen which will render the menu, which will render these items here. Sorry, which will render these items. So it's very simple. We can now do it quickly. Inside the screen, create a new file. We're gonna create a new screen. We can call it menu details, or what can we say? What name can we give it? Yeah, I think menu details is okay. Or menu product. Menu product.js. Okay, sorry, should add screen to the end just to identify it as a screen. Menu product screen. index.js. And I create this functional component. Can delete this. Okay, now let's just copy some of the stuff that we did here and paste it in there, because for example, this import, we can cut it from here, paste it inside this screen, and the route to can cut this, can paste this here, can also copy this data and paste it there, and we will need this as well. Copy that, paste it here, you can also copy this, paste it there. We're almost done. And the index, copy that, or cut this, so instead of 2 I'm just gonna leave it as index now. There's no need to put 2. And we won't need this model anymore, we can delete that. Render table, we can skip that, we can cut this. Render table to cut that and paste it here. Instead of 2, just gonna write render table. And what else? We don't need this anymore. Okay, we can leave that. Instead of setting the model to, we're gonna say navigation dot navigate. We're gonna navigate to restaurant, to menu product screen. Menu product screen. And also gonna cut this and paste it below this one. And finally, we cut this. We can also now remove the model. Okay, before that, let's first just we can actually, let me paste it back here, cut everything with the model itself. Just cut everything like that, and go to the render view, to the render method, and then paste it, and then delete the model. and I'm also going to paste some styles in here. There are quite a number of styles to paste there as well. I don't have to type all those styles. Simply gonna paste. You can pause the video and tap these styles, or you can get them from GitHub. So these are the styles. You can be pausing. So these are all the styles. Awesome. Now this must be wrapped inside the parent view. So I'm going to save, open a view. Paste it there. And I'm going to pass a style to this. I'm gonna say style equal to styles dot container, and instead of 14 here, I'm gonna leave it to 1, and also here remove 14, put 1. So yeah, that's about it. Let's go back this side. Let's see if there's anything further that we need to remove here. Still having the error there. Let me save and see. Okay, also I want to fix this. It's bothering me. You can see that we're having the item going below the status bar. I wanted to fix it in the next video, but in this one, let's just quickly sort that out. It doesn't look good. That is Sage screen. You can just pass, let's say, padding top 20. We're gonna fix this in the next video with the right APIs. Okay, this is now looking fine. It has been bothering me really. We should do the same for the search screen result. Search result screen and container. Pass also padding top just 20. This has been really looking ugly. Awesome. Saying can't find variable C. What variable C is that? Oh, okay. This is a mistake there. Okay, I think the error is sorted now. You can see the error is sorted. But before we go to the screen, there's the menu product screen that you've created. We first need to register it inside our navigator. So let me save it first and go to your navigation folder. And inside the client stack, you can just copy this and paste it. And instead of home screen, restaurant home screen, we're gonna have menu product screen. The same here, gonna have menu product screen. Make sure this is imported on top. This must be imported here. You can see I have imported menu product screen. And also I want to hide the tab bar for that route as well. And here we can put all. Let's see if this will work. Sorry. Or product, sorry, menu product screen. Let's save this. Can't find screen width. Oh, okay, I see why it's complaining. We need to pass this here. Go to the, let me close this. Go to the restaurant home screen and copy this. Copy that and paste it here. And actually, instead of repeating this, we can just put screen width instead of initial layout. So wherever there's initial layout here, you can delete that. Simply put screen width. Okay. And let me just make sure there's no other places with initial layout. I think that's the only place. Okay. Can save this. You must import the dimension API from React Native. Let's see what other component. You also use state from React. Should also import that. And what else? The style sheet. Should also import the style sheet. All that from React. Okay, the style sheet was imported already, sorry. And we must also import the tab view and tab bar. I'm going to paste that. You can tap this, import tab view as well as tab bar from React Native tab view. Import that. What else need to be imported? Let me think. We need to import also this menu. Let me see if it's imported. Okay, the menu is imported, the data is imported. I think that should be it. Let's save. Okay, now let's click and see what happens. Okay, the colors, we need to import the colors. Apparently we didn't import that. Yes. Colors from global stars. giving error. Oh, sorry, this is supposed to be const. Small error there. Icon. Must import the icon that is from React Native element. Sorry guys, this screen we just copied a lot of things, that's why there are a lot of things that are omitted, so make sure you add this as well. And let's see. Oof, still more bugs. Okay, all this should be removed. Day 2, everything should be just normal. All the tools. And okay, let's see. Hopefully this should solve the problem. This has been a long video, but I just wanted to push all this today. And the text component, can't find variable text. Where is that coming from? Okay, inside route 1 you can't find text component, so that is in menu tabs, and oh yes, we need to import the text component from React Native. Put text as well. Alright, awesome, well done guys. You have the menu there, you can scroll around. For example, you can, if I change these colors, let's see, let's say for scene 2, instead of this, let's say background color, put yellow there, or green instead. So you can see that I've changed the route on number 4, the background color, so you can swipe around this, and as I said before, you can do the same for these steps, for the tabs below. Sorry, I haven't implemented the right method on this. Let's do it straight on the go back icon instead of set modal visible, we're gonna say navigation dot go back, so that when we click there, it takes us back to the previous screen. So let me click, takes us back here. So what I was trying to say is let me do this. You can see we can swap the screen like this and so forth. So you can implement the same for these ones. Okay, just that I wanted to create that difference, that in here you only do manually, and when you go there, then you can swipe around the menus easily. You can swipe around the menus easily. So we're getting there guys, we're almost there. We did begin creating the menu card. The menu card is this card that you see here with a picture, with product name, product detail, as well as price. That's what we've been creating. You're supposed to have a menu card.js file already created if you've been following from the beginning. Now let's create this card quickly and complete it. I did paste some styles already, as you can see. You can pause and copy those styles. So that's all, and quickly gonna create this card. It's very simple, really. So create another view, and this view we pass also some styles to it. Here gonna be stars dot view 2, and then create another view again. We pass stars to it. Here stars dot view 3, and we open a text component to render this name, the product name. For example, in this case you have Big Mac, handcart chips, and so forth. So first of all, open a style and pass some stars to it, which will be text 1, and here we're going to pass some data dynamically. So we need to pass some data to this menu card. I'm going to copy some data and paste them here. You can simply type. So make sure you tap these props that I'm passing to this component. So I'm going to use product name here, and also after this I'm going to open another view, and inside this view I'm going to open a text component, and I'll pass a style to it also. Style, the style will be styles.text2, and here we're passing the product details, which is all this text in between. So we're gonna say product details, and finally open another view. In this view you can just pass some stars to it, say flex pass 2, and going to use the image component, because now we have to render this component here, and to this image component we're going to pass some style as well, and that will be equal to styles dot image, and also need to pass the source to be a URI. Just gonna say URI and pass the image prop. And I think there's one thing missing. You have the product details, and just below the product details you're supposed to have the price as well. So we're going to open a text component, pass some data to it, and before that you can put the currency and then the price, and must pass some styles also, and the styles here will be styles.text3. So this one component we can cut that, it's not supposed to be there, paste it below this one here. I'm sure you could see what I've done. Alright, it's supposed to be like that. So you can save this, and now instead of rendering this text menu tabs inside our route, inside our route 1, I'm gonna delete that, and then instead we're going to render the component that you've just created. So I'm going to render the menu card, and we close the tag. So you can see that the menu card is imported already on top here. Sorry, it's imported here. Import that, and you can see that we have a lot of them here, so we're supposed to use a flat list. So in order to render this, we can't just render it like this. So we have the flat list imported already from React Native on top here. So let me just for now delete that, render the flat list first. And in this flat list I could say style, just pass a background color, could say this could be, I'm just gonna pass white, and then I'm going to also pass some data that must be rendered inside this this flat list. So the data that must be rendered inside this flat list is product data. Let's go to our database, see if we have those datas. Let me just open this completely. Database is here. So I'll have to paste some data. Can make this big. This is really a lot of data that I'm going to paste here. Sorry for that. Okay, wait. Okay, actually, I'm just trying to understand something. I just want to understand something with this data before, if there's need to create new data or not. Okay, I need to create some data. I'm just gonna paste this. Don't have to worry about this. All this data, we're gonna delete all these things when we start coding the back end. But for now, I'm going to paste this. It's a lot of data. I don't think I'll be able to, but you can check the GitHub link to find all this. It's really a lot of things that I've pasted. That's for demonstration purpose. I will definitely advise you to, I'm gonna put product data. I'll advise you to get this from GitHub. And if you like this project or you like this course, please consider subscribing and liking the video. And even on the GitHub repo, please click the star button if you like the content of these tutorials, and also leave a comment. It really helps grow this channel. You can save, as I said, you can download this from GitHub. It's a lot of things. I don't want you to waste a lot of time typing all this. And if you're having troubles getting this from GitHub, please type in the comment so that I can attend to the problem. So that being said, and so we can now use this data here. I'm not gonna use this is not what I want. Menu data, but anyway, it's fine, can leave it there. And just to import product data, and this is what we're going to pass here, product data. So we could need to extract the key as well, key extractor. We could item index to string, just in case this was not a string. Then we can render the items. Render items. This also sorry, on this we don't need to destructure things. I say items index and this should be returning a component. Gonna turn touchable opacity for this component, and then from here we're going to render the menu card and close the check. Now we need to pass the prop to this menu card. The first one will be product name, it will be items. Gonna grab it from items dot items.mail, and the next one it's gonna be image, should be equal items dot image, and can also pass the price prop, maybe items dot price. Also have product details be equal to items dot details, and can also pass some prop to this flat list. Say we don't want to show the vertical scroll indicator, so we say shows vertical scroll indicator, we pass a false. Okay, I'm gonna make this small so we can look at our emulator. Tell me product data was declared already. Let's go back to our database. Instead of product data, I can say running out of names for these stages. Okay, I can say menu detail, menu detailed data. Let's save that. And here, instead of product data, import to menu, detailed data. Delete that as well. Menu, detailed data. And let's save. Okay, it's giving some errors. Let's see what it means. Okay, I see a problem here. This import is wrong. This is supposed to be from global, so this will be global data. Okay, we're still having also some errors. The menu card, we're importing this from wrong. Delete this as well. Go for menu card.js file, and this should be from global stars. Let's save and see. Okay, we're having some problems. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to just remove all these S items. Just leave it like that. I don't know why it's complaining, but let's do this and see what happens. Item. Okay. And yeah. Save that and try again. We have the menu. Awesome. There we have all the card. So this is exactly what we have in our final app and all that. So right now, if you click, nothing will happen. Right now, there's nothing that will happen in our project if you had to click here. So if I go to our project and click there, nothing happens. So now we have to implement that, but for now we have done a lot. The next step is to implement the card as well as the preferences, so that when you're adding your food to the cart, there are preferences like drinks and type of sauce, and if you are vegetarian, if you have any restrictions, and all those type of things. So this was a very long video, and thank you for watching. And I really wanted to push so that we complete this whole project this month. That's why we'll see that you will notice that I will start doing a bit longer videos so that we finish this project as quick as possible. It has been dragging for long, really. And thank you for watching, and if everything is working for you, please let me know in the comment. Just type it's working or everything is fine, so that at least I get feedback from you guys. And if you're having also issues or problems, just also let me know in the comment, and I at least try to read the comments every 24 hours, and I should be able to get back to you. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, keep safe and take care. Bye bye.